Hey guys, this is a gold 1/plat game. I was gonna go Riven top, but I would rather face Echo than Orianna as Riven, so I went mid instead. Hope you enjoy the gameplay, because the game went really well, and I got fairly fed. So this is a video on how to win all your ranked games. Now, obviously you won't win them all, and some games are unwinnable, but you can win more games, or the majority of your games, and you'll probably win, like, all games if you actually manage to apply all these things in every role and make sure every player did them. So the first point is with Dragon. So if the enemy keep living on low health, which sometimes happens, like less than 20 health, the Dragon will give you 4% AD and AP like bonus. So that'll already be more likely to kill someone when you have a fight. But you're also going to have more sustained damage. Now it's very slight, but the amount of times you or an enemy will live really low, you know that Dragon can help. You can deny the enemy getting the Dragon too, so it's better to have your team with the buff than them. And you're not exactly going to lose anything out of getting the Dragon. So it's basically free, and in lower reloads, the enemy probably won't even contest it. 5 Dragon stacks is much better than Baron, because with the 5 Dragon stacks it doubles all your bonus, so you get around 8% bonuses on your AD and AP, double the movement speed, I think it's like 10% after the double. You get more damage to structures and minions, so you get a lot of buffs. And in a team fight where the whole team has 5 dragons, it's going to be much more effective than like a little minion buff and a small amount of AD and AP. So overall 5 dragons is better than Baron. So if you see the enemy team going Baron and you can get your 5th dragon, just let them get the Baron. Just take your 5th dragon and then ace them in the 5v5. Dragon also helps with map control. If you keep bringing people to Dragon, the enemy team, if they notice, are going to want to get there, or they'll keep trying to contest it. So if you're ahead, you can control the map, you can get a lead, you'll make them fight you, you might be able to get a couple picks, and you'll bring them to that area of the map if they know you're there. You can also help your carries out, so if you're a jungler who can solo the Drake, you can take it, and your carries won't even have to help. So you're basically buffing your team if you don't have time to gank, or it's not a good time to gank, and you'll be helping all the lanes. And it also means that they might not lose the lane. It could actually win them the lane if you're lucky. Your team will overall have a lot more burst, because 4% and 8% if you've got the 5 dragon stacks on your AD and AP, that could be times by 5 with your whole team. So you're more likely to kill them in a quicker time, meaning there's less time for the enemy to escape or less damage output on your team. And it can also help you focus on objectives. So if you have your dragons, then you can deal more damage to towers, you can get more minions, so you'll get a lot more gold overall. Now, objectives. So I like to think that 15 CS is the same as a kill, because 15 CS is probably around 300 gold on average, and a kill is usually 300, 500 for shutdowns and stuff like that, and then a little bit less if they've already died a couple times. So it's actually easier to get 15 CS than a kill. So practice CSing, get more CS, and then it'll be like you've got more kills if you have 15 assists, but no one will know you're fed. And then the turrets are around 300 if you're near the turret when it dies, but your whole team will get the gold, so you can snowball your team, you can give your team more money, your team will have more damage, they might be able to afford more wards, supports will be low on gold, so it'll help them, your tanks will be able to tank more, and your team might be able to peel more, such as a Janna, who scales with AP, so she can peel more with a W, with more slow. And then obviously there's more map control, because if you have 2 turrets on top lane, they're not going to be able to do anything. So I'm just going to speed up this game. So if you have 2 turrets on their top lane, then you can take an inhib, you can pressure the inhib, you can split push, you can push the wave, and they're going to try and defend the inhib turret, because otherwise you're just going to take an inhib and use that to help you get Dragoon and Baron, more objectives, go bot. So they have to defend. So you'll be able to keep them in certain areas of the map and know where they are. Your team will have a lot more gold, so you can team fight better. Bot inhib is very overpowered because you can draw their team bot to defend, and it's like the opposite side of the map to Baron. So if you're ever like thinking, oh, let's push mid go Baron, you could just push bot go Baron, and you're more likely to keep them further away for longer. And then you could always just take 2 turrets top, 2 turrets bot, and then push mid for the inhib turrets. And then you can easily just rotate to the turrets and have your tank to try and soak up all the damage. So now with the Baron, more objectives and more gold. So you'll have buffs, you'll be able to buff your minions, so you can basically use that buff to get objectives. Now it's not amazing in team fights, it's good, and it's better to have it. And like, it's a bit stupid to go against the team who has it because they're stronger. But because they have the Baron, they can take more objectives, get more gold, and then everything else will slowly stack up. Your team doesn't have to play meta. You shouldn't like flame someone if they pick, I don't know, Gangplank, because people don't play him much anymore, kind of thing. Meta's generally good, but I think that a good amount of crowd control and combos, as well as some catching people out, will win you more games. The enemy is more likely to be thrown off against non-meta picks, so they won't know exactly what it does. So if I do play Gangplank, they might not realise how much damage I do, or they might forget certain parts of the champion's mechanics. They're more likely to be thrown off, but not as likely if it's like diamond and above. Well, high diamond, because people know most of the champions, or pretty much all, perfectly, and they can play all champions. So you wouldn't really be able to outsmart them or beat them to their own kind of game. Only play champions that you've actually played a lot or invested any kind of time into. Don't just be nice to yourself, say, I can play this. It's not I can play this, it should be more like, you can carry on this, not you can play it. You've got to be confident that you can carry a game. Like, before you go into a game and you've chosen your champion, you've got to be able to think that you can carry. So you've got to have the kind of mindset where you are confident that you are better than your enemy. Otherwise, there's just no point playing, because how are you going to win if you're not playing champions you know fully? Like, you might be able to do one really good game on Jinx if you've never played her, and Jinx is strong at the moment. But you're not going to be able to play her well if you don't know how to play her. If you're not 100% sure, don't play it. If your team is behind, or you're behind in lane, the rules are just don't die. If you can't 1v1 them 1 or 2 times in a row, then, like if they don't fall below 1% health, then stop trying to fight them. Don't try to get a CS if the enemy zones or pokes you down, and it's better to just get experience and wait for ganks and get levels, rather than fight, die, or possibly die. So with a support, don't die for the AD carry if you're 90% sure they will die. Take either hard peel, such as Janna, or engage, such as Leona. Always buy Sightstone and switch your trinket to red, which is the sweeping lens, straight away. Upgrade the lens if any enemies have stealth, such as Rengar, Evelynn, Vayne, and use it in team fights for pretty much freelo, because the invisibility is, it's not like OP, it's balanced. So if you take out the invisibility, what are they going to be able to do? Always try and stand behind your ADC. So the amount of games on Janna, I'll like try and save my team, and I might get hit, and then I'll die, and because I'm Janna and I'm squishy, I can't get out. But if I stand behind my ADC, I can give them my shield and my AD. If I have an ardent sensor, I can give them attack speed. But then overall, your ADC will just be able to output more damage while you're behind them to try and kite for them, rather than be in front and get burst down, because an ADC can kite a lot more than a support, generally. If the ADC is noticeably bad in lane, just keep them alive and wait for ganks and team fights. Don't risk your life for them if they're bad and they get caught out and you don't think you can help. As an ADC, don't rely on your support. If it's a bad support, then focus on CSing and wait for team fights and ganks. Don't trade too much if you're against like a Blitz, a Leona, or a Thresh, where they have engage, because they can just attack you or grab you if you're not ready for it. Unless they come too close, and then they can't engage on you. Your spike as an ADC is mid to late game. That's when you have all your items, you have your attack speed, you have your crit, you have more damage, you have lifesteal. So you want to just try and focus until then. If you're behind, just CS. You should focus targets that are closer to you rather than further, so get the closest target to you. And if it's a tank, who cares? Focus the tank. If your team starts flaming you for it, just ignore them. They're wrong. Mute them. So save your flash for team fights and be defensive rather than kill supports or to jump onto carries. Your job isn't to be aggressive in team fights in ADC, unless you're like really fed and you're not going to lose. You've just got to play safe, you've got to kite, because you're very squishy and you can throw a game easily. You got to think, do the enemies have a flash, such as if a Vi flash ults onto you? Do they have an engage that can catch you? Can they catch you out and kill you? If yes, either stay back, stay further back and wait for a team fight, or you could use a Quicksilver Sash or a QSS. It's only 1,250 gold, so I think it's definitely worth it, because you can remove CCs, like Cleanse. Apart from it can work on suppressions. As a top laner, your job is to create pressure and draw the jungler up to your lane. The enemy jungler, more like. So all you need to do is push, ward, kill the laner, get CS, get fed, push the turret, get your team gold, maybe push the second as well, roam, and preferably take teleport on pretty much all top laners, so you can have more presence on the map, you can roam and you can help your team win their lanes. It's solo queues about carrying. So as a mid laner, you're the centre of the map, so just roam, help others win their lanes, and you can help the jungler. Don't stand too close to the enemy though, because you'll easily get caught out in team fights. You're generally squishy with high damage, so try and keep yourself alive. And as a mid laner, it's really useful for everyone if you ward the little brush. I will just show you on the video. These ones with a pink ward. That's really useful for your team, as they're less likely to be able to escape if there's no ward there, because people can cut them off. As a jungler, it's better to be a tank or an engage. It's very good because you can catch people out, which can win games. You'll force an engage, which means you might be able to catch one person out, and then the enemy team tries to go in and save them and fight, get something out of it, and then they realise that they're dead. Like, they're not going to be able to get anything out of it if you forced an engage onto them. Are the odds against them? Then you force an engage, and then because you've already got the starting engage off, they're probably not going to be able to kill you, because it'll hopefully be 5v4. Help lanes win the lane, snowball the lane that's ahead or winning, because a jungler's job is to help the team. But I would rather gank a double, like, I would rather gank a lane such as bot and give them, like, say if they got a double at bot, they wouldn't be able to snowball off it if the enemy ADC was a lot stronger than them. I would rather go top, get their top, a kill, and because our top is like stronger, well, if he is, then I would rather my top be even stronger and win their lane more, because they're already winning solo. So if you give them kills when you gank, then when they do fight solo, you'll beat them even more easily. So help lanes win and snowball that lane. Push turrets after kills or assists to create pressure on the map and also help your team get gold sooner. So your runes and masteries, you need to always have full rune and mastery pages. Work out why your masteries and runes are good on certain champions. Have an AD and AP page at least, if not, like for a third page, get tank. If you're struggling, use any guide or modifier for mastery page tips and runes. If the enemy has bad runes and masteries, and you have good ones, you're more likely to be able to beat them. So these are just some bullet points I've got for general games, not specific. So don't die late game. There's long timers, and don't risk your life either. It's not worth maybe getting a kill on the support if you're not sure where the enemy is and your team's not there to back you up, or you don't have a good escape. Always ward. So it'll prevent you being caught, prevent your team being caught, so they feed less, so the enemies don't snowball as much. You can use that to force engages, you know where the enemy are, you can work out what they're doing or if they're trying to bait you and wait. Always try and protect your ADC if you can. Split push if you can get some pressure on the map to get towers and then get to your team, because then the enemy will hopefully split from your team. Objectives, more important than team fights. Like, it's better to get an objective to give your team more gold for when team fights do happen, rather than waiting for a team fight to happen, not get any objectives, and then maybe lose it as your team might not have full builds. And play to your comp. So do you have a wombo combo? Then wait for your team to have their ultis up. Is your comp a peel kind of comp? Then wait to be engaged on, or bait, and then protect your ADC. Do you have a poke comp? Then don't all in, just poke as much as you can, under turret, siege the base. Don't play when you're hungry or tired, because you won't be able to focus fully. And even though you think that you played well, or you're carrying your team and your team's bad, you probably won't play as well as you could, and you won't play at your best if you're hungry or tired. And that's the same if you're on a 2-loss streak. I usually have a 5-10 minute break if I have a 2-loss streak. Mute flamers instantly and don't flame yourself. Don't go full AD build if you planned to. If you planned to, then fall behind. Go tanky and help your best carry. If you have no money, you'll be weaker and probably kited and killed too easily. And then you need to be a leader for your team, tell them what to do, tell them what objectives to get, and builds if they're doing it badly, but say it the nicest way possible, as if you actually want to help them rather than just win. And then don't be scared to play, as you need to start somewhere. So don't think, I might get demoted after this game so I won't play, because you need to play at some point. And if you get demoted and then you stop playing, then why do you care about your rank anyway? So you just need to do it. Some games are unwinnable, so if you lose, just win the next game. But then last but not least, don't surrender ever. 40 minutes into the game, being fed won't matter. People are almost full build, and there's long timers, so if you kill someone, you can get a lot of objectives out of it. So if they do a throw at Baron, you could get Baron, a turret or two, Drake, catch a couple more people out, and then keep doing that as they spawn, trying to defend the base. And also, 40 minutes, in a lane, someone might lose their lane and feed a little bit because they were unlucky, but late game, because they're better than the enemy, they just lost because they were unlucky in lane, they could still carry in team fights. So I hope this helped. There's quite a lot of things going on, and I did change the speed of the game a couple times, and the reason was I wasn't sure about the timer. So I hope this helped you win games, and good luck, have fun in solo queue. Yeah.